I wrote my speech in the first perspective of Swami Dayanand. Namaste. My name is Shankar, and I was born into a wealthy, prosperous Brahmin family on February 12, 1824, in Tankara, Gujarat. My life first changed during Shivratri, when I had to fast and stay awake the entire night in order to show obedience to Lord Shiva. One night, I noticed a mouse eating prasad offered to the Shivling and running all across the idol. After seeing this, I questioned myself. If God cannot defend himself against a little mouse, then how could he be the savior of this vast world? I then continued to lead a comfortable childhood, studying Sanskrit and the Vedas and other religious texts to prepare myself as a future Hindu priest. But later, my younger sister and my uncle passed away. They had passed away from cholera. This caused me to ponder over the meaning of life and death, and the questions I asked worried his parents, or worried my parents. They instead wanted to focus on my marriage, as this was common for the young teenagers in India. But I decided marriage was not for me, so in 1846, I ran away from home. For nearly 25 years, I, Dayanand Saraswati, spent 25 long, wandering years as an ascetic, giving up all material goods, living a life of self-discipline, and devoting myself to God. I went from jungles to mountains in the Himalayas, searching for religious truth. When I met Swami Dayanand, he became my teacher, my guru, and this is because he believed in what I believed in. Hinduism had strayed from its historical roots, and that many of its practices had become impure. Because of his teachings, I promised Swami Dayanand that my mission was to devote my life in not starting a new religion, but restoring the rightful place of the Vedas in the current Hindu faith, and retelling all of humankind to promote universal unity through nobility as spelled out in the Vedas. To begin that mission, I founded the Arya Samaj, a noble society. Unlike many other reform movements within Hinduism, the appeal of the Arya Samaj was not only to address the few educated people in India, but to the world. I learned from conducting logical, scientific, and critical analyses that Arya Samaj promoted universalism for all living beings and not for any particular sect, faith, community, or nation. And because of the presence of the Arya Samaj, idol worship, animal sacrifice, ancestor worship, the caste system, child marriages, and discrimination against all women were condemned because they all lacked Vedic sanction. Dogma and symbolism were also discouraged by the Arya Samaj, and instead, skepticism and beliefs that run contrary to the common sense and logic were encouraged. That is how the Arya Samaj aimed to be a noble society, the noble universal society, based on the authority of the Vedas. From there, I established 10 principles that served as the universal code for Prevento Vishvarya, making the whole world noble. The first 5 principles speak of truth, and the other 5 are of a society of nobility, civics, co-living, and disciplined life. The main Vedic message I wanted to emphasize was the respect and reverence for all other human beings, and the Vedic notion of the divine nature of the individual divine, because the body was the temple where the soul, or Atma, had the possibility to cross with the Creator, Paramatma. The next difficult task in completing my mission of reforming Hinduism was to travel across the country and challenge religious scholars and priests in spreading the truth through debate. I won repeatedly many times, and this was because of my arguments were based on the knowledge of Sanskrit and Vedas. I told scholars and priests that Hinduism had been corrupted by us diverging from the founding principles of Vedas. I told them that Hindus had been misled by self-glorious Hindu priests. I told them that these priests were discouraged from the public for reading Vedic scriptures and instead encouraging rituals, superstitions, and serving practices. I told them in order to reform Hinduism, we must educate the nation. We must tell people to go back to its roots and follow the Vedic life. We must go back to the Vedas. Because of this, many social reforms were accepted by the Hindu nation, such as the abolition of untouchability, sati, and dowry, the education of women, and the importance of cows for national prosperity, and the adoption of Hindi as a national language for national integration. Through my daily life and practice of yoga and asanas, teaching, preachings, sermons, and writings, I inspired the Hindu nation to aspire to self-governance, nationalism, spiritualism. This, go back to the Vedas message I spread, had influenced many thinkers and philosophers around the world. Thank you.